society has decided what you should have achieved by that age. Oh, I don't want to be having children that when I'm 50, they are like 9, 8 years old. There were different definitions of success. I always say 40 is the new 20.
Life in its true self is our ability to understand that we exist more than for ourselves.
So many things.
If life begins at 40, sorry, that means Jesus was never alive.
Jesus did not live.
He didn't live at all.
Because his own life was 33.
3 and a half.
A lot of people who fulfill their purpose don't know their purpose. They don't even know they are fulfilling purpose.
Growing up, it seemed like our parents had a knack for comparison. Whether it was our grades, how neatly we were dressed, our intelligence, or even our composure, there was always that someone out there, just a little bit better or a lot better. And we heard about it, didn't we? It's like they had this invisible scoreboard, constantly measuring us against others. In the same vein, society has become an even meaner version of our parents, hurling shame and pressure at us as we grow older. In this episode, I'm speaking to popular Nigerian singer-songwriter Nosa who has had to deal with both external and internal pressure and expectations of reaching the fourth floor. And of course, Pastor Jude Nwoko, resident pastor of this present house, on the topic of identity. How can we acknowledge our progress, to celebrate our wins, rather than chasing someone else's version of success? Well, so thank you so much again, Nosa and Pastor Jude, for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So the conversation is around 40. There's been a lot of talk around life begins at 40, 40 this, 40 that. And I know that you being gentlemen who are either in your 40s already or journeying to 40 have had experience in this age. Can you just tell me what it was like as men and men of God, you know?
So I'll defer to the man of God on set.
Okay, man of God 1.
Yes,
What was it like clocking
sir,
40?
what should I say on your behalf? You can't be disturbing the man of God.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
You know, so what was it like being 40 for you?
I think to a large extent I was able to overcome the pressure that comes from the expectations or the norms where society has decided what you should have achieved by that age. I was able to overcome it to a large extent, but the area of having a family, you know, having children around that time, that's where, you know, I had that challenge, the most challenge, because I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be having children that when I'm 50, they are like 9, 8 years old, you know. But I realized before 40 that there were different parts to what we may call the top. And there were different definitions of success that may not be the societal definition of success. So I made my peace with that. I always say 40 is the new 20. I take one day at a time, you know, every day as it comes. I'm not really counting, you know, whatever is within, whatever is within my ability to do, I still pursue as much as possible. There may be some things that are tied to time, you know, maybe like your or tied to your age as well, maybe like your ability to, you know, take part in physical exercise, maybe like playing football. But I used to teach them that if you love football so much and you missed the window to be a player, you can be a manager. So you can be an agent.
So it's not all lost.
It's not all lost. Yes, you can be a great manager. There are many great managers that were poor players. You know, they played, but they were not good enough. So yes, what I've just done is it's been normal for me because I've, by the grace of God, eliminated unnecessary regret.
Wow.
I've had a lot of things that if I look back on, I should regret, but I think I just took that out of the way and did not allow all those pressures to get to me.
To you.
So yes, it's basically that.
So no, you didn't really have any anxiety. It was just like it was just coming. Let's
Yeah,
face it.
yeah.
Or because you had also dealt with everything even before you arrived at that.
Yes, I had dealt with a lot of those things because I was telling someone yesterday, I said I started dealing with the pressures of being 40 when I was 35, because there's always that comparison that, at so and so age, this person achieved this, and you rarely find people who say, you know what, wherever you are, appreciate your journey and keep moving, And then I look at people like Moses and Joseph and I say, hey, if I was 40 years old and I left a palace to be in the wilderness, to be someone's under shepherd, I would definitely call myself a failure based on the standards of the society, of the system we're in. But I overcame that. When I turned 40, I was like, okay, I didn't see any reason really to celebrate. But then my wife she pulled a surprise. I just wanted to worship, invite some people to my Zoom meeting. Yes, there was that temptation to think and say, you know what, I have not achieved anything that's worth celebrating. Let me just thank my God for keeping me this far, but let me keep going. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep moving. That was what it was in my head. But then I think the Lord was saying it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to celebrate what you have. This milestone, it is a milestone. So that's
amazing. It's great to see how the journey has been and how by 35 you were pretty focused on, okay, these ones I can deal, these ones I cannot handle.
Yeah.
Let me just separate the ones and not put unnecessary pressure on myself. That's one thing that a lot of people need to learn.
Yeah.
Because a few people that we've also spoken with, you'll find one thing that is common amongst them. A number of them feel like they have underachieved.
Yeah.
So they're like, there's really no need to celebrate. There's really no need. What am I really? But for women, man, it seemed pretty different.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm mounting a lot of pressure. So I like the comparison angle that you also brought to it to say, so deal with comparison.
Yeah.
Be sure that your own walk is your own walk.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to the question on identity.
Okay.
Yes, but let me hear from Pastor Jude, the General Shepherd.
Come on now.
What it is like for you, any pressure, what are you really looking forward to? Or what were you looking forward to for 40?
I'll probably take a cue from where the man of God stopped.
Man of God.
Personally have believed that in this our work and journey, we make each day count. So I'm not actually underscoring or making a light of milestones, dates, ages, because I understand some symbols in scriptures and all of that tied to that. But I have always taught that it's a privilege, one, to know God, and it's a privilege every time to be awakened to one's purpose, a sense of it, right? And it's a privilege to be alive. What are the odds? A lot of people that maybe don't make it to the next day. So every day then becomes a fresh opportunity to live out life and make a difference. So if over time I have been building based on that consciousness, the societal thing, like he mentioned, is beginning to seep in.
No, but you look like you had checked many of the boxes.
I don't know what the boxes are. I really don't know.
Married, yes. Children, yes. Career, yes. Shepherding, yes.
Banana Island.
Banana Island
Not
on the
yet.
way.
Well, you see, the conversation of who created the box.
Yeah, society.
Who created the box and what is it about? We can't have this conversation without referring to scripture. So comparing ourselves with ourselves, say they are not wise.
Yeah.
That do that. So the consciousness of who you are and what your role and contribution is to life. People call it purpose, people call it your calling, whatever terminology you choose to use. That awareness, no matter how faint, and your daily strive to approach it in one way, shape, or form should be the fulfillment. So that every day when you close your eyes to sleep, you say, what was allotted to me for today? Have I done it according to his will? You know, and if I have, then I have peace with my maker and with myself for the day. But the danger is that many times you can't help but feel, okay, am I married? I have a lot of fulfilled friends who are way past 40 and they are not married. And yes, the pressure is there, but in terms of fulfillment, I would say they're giving some of us a run for our time. Back to me. I'm definitely doing, sort of taking stock. I'm reflecting, okay, how has the journey been? I'm grateful. And I'm really checking, God, is there anything that I have missed that I need to pace up with you on? Remember, the reference is still him, right? And if there's any that I need to put up a big boss pants and get to work, show me, right? If there's any burden that I'm having, is just striving to be accurate with where he wants me to be now.
Wow, right? That is so important, I would say, because really it just brings me back to the saying you was talking behind, the saying before we started, that life begins at 40. Really, when they say life, meaning do you start living at that age? And I'm looking at it now from that direction of being in alignment with God's purpose and plan for your life. Maybe the age when you're now, which is considered your midlife age at 40, is now the time you are checking that, okay, it looks like I've reached the half time. If I don't score a goal in this second half, then it don't finish or something. But really, I don't think that should be it. You referenced Moses. Moses at the age that he left the palace. Look at Joseph at the age that he eventually landed in the palace. So many other references. The children of Israel wandering about for 40 years in the wilderness. So many things.
If life begins at 40, sorry, that means Jesus was never alive.
Jesus did not live.
He didn't live at all.
Because his own life was 33.
3.5.
So it's just, some people would just say it's just a number. Just live your life. When you wake up is when you wake up. Start living it and getting your sense, a hang of your identity. Now, let's talk about identity. How do I find me? We talked about boxes. Who created these boxes that we're checking? The society, the pressure of leaving a legacy or comparison or competition. We hear a lot of that. But I want to know, our identity, is it something that we earn in the long run? Or is it just a sense of finding yourself as you journey through your life experience?
You said age is just a number. I will also beg to differ there, so that we don't swing to the other extreme where it doesn't count. Remember the keyword I had thrown out there earlier is to make each day count. So David, the writer, said, teach us to put a sign number to our days so we might apply our hearts to wisdom. What that means is that when I take a stock of each day, every 24 hours he has placed as a spread before me, what am I doing with it? If I'm conscious of the fact that I'm not my own, and someday I would account, someone will ask me, I gave you resources in time. What did you do with it? Right? If I have that consciousness, it makes me know that I'm accountable to someone or to something, to a higher cause. So back to your question of identity. Your identity is rooted from the person you owe that allegiance to, that recognition to, that I am not my own. I didn't just show up here. This complex being cannot be a product of chance, right? If we all agree on that, therefore, for everything that someone set out to manufacture, to make, there is a purpose in the mind of the maker, the creator. Right, so the quest daily, you might not have a full knowledge. We begin to grow in it as we grow in God, as we press and we develop ourselves, But the quest daily, therefore, is to understand, who am I? What what am I here for? And align as much as possible to that. From the standpoint of my conviction as a believing Christian, right? I understand that I'm God's. I am not my own. Therefore, my referencing is to Him, and I'm trying to keep it as ordinary as possible. It's not that's why we fight you for the title of pastor, because ordinarily, it's your purpose can be as ordinary as ordinary can be. Just making that difference, the effort to know who you are, what you have been called to, and aligning as much as you can to it without necessarily going into any details.
Many people have tried to answer or confront themselves to really discover who they are. I know quite a number of people nearly almost getting to the age of 40 before they start probing and start checking, what have I built? What am I doing? How am I going to run this next race? But really, the question of identity, why is it even important for me to answer it? I've heard people say, if you don't know who you are, whose you are, then you can never really understand why you're here. Why do I need to connect to that thing that is beyond me to really find myself?
If we view every day as an opportunity to align ourselves better with God's plan, knowing that we'll give account for our days on earth, it becomes easier to derive a sense of identity. If you look closely, you find that everything was designed for a reason. And so, each of us has a purpose beyond being married, having kids, or being successful. Is there a clear-cut path for everyone? How can we tell that we are fulfilling purpose? What part does faith play in this journey?
The thing is, if you find any product that just exists without maybe a manual that will give you a reference, or maybe a product without a brand, you see something nice, you're looking for the brand name, like who made this, or there's something you're eating, a very nice snack, and you're looking for the package. You want to know who manufactured this, where was it made, when was it made. This is an amazing product. One of the biggest undoings of man in his existence on earth is trying to navigate through life without a source, without connecting to a source. And because of the kind of creatures we are, with intelligence, we are able to exploit our surroundings, survive. So if you are able to do that to a large extent, it feels like you don't need to know your maker or to know your purpose and all of that. So it's really dangerous it's like you're just hanging out there. You just exist, you just come, you do whatever it is that is in front of you, you respond to it, interact with it however you feel, based on impulse or based on your experiences, and then you go, But for me, right, based on experiences, and I don't just refer to the scriptures like, I tie it to, I give it some level of relevance. So it's something you can interact with, like he rightly used for his own, making reference to his own life. No one can dictate what you're here to do more than the person that made you. Sometimes we stumble upon why we're here. In going through that, it may come in the form of different problems and how we respond to those problems. Do we solve them? Do we run away from them? And identity is so key that I believe that is the number one area of attack from the enemy, Satan. If you do not know who you are, you will stumble through life and you will most likely not fulfill your purpose. And when I use that word purpose, I don't like using it from the point of view of, or from perspective of, just know why you are here and pursue that path. A lot of people who fulfill their purpose don't know their purpose. They don't even know they are fulfilling purpose. So we try to define purpose based on maybe the things that we've achieved, career-wise, because most of the time when we say purpose, we think career. The purpose of a thing is written in the manual. So God gave us simple instructions. First of all, He told us to take care of the earth, right? Told us we're gods, and then gave us commands as to how we interact with the earth and interact with each other. So a man who walks in love, a man who brings positive energy, who brings light, who pursues peace, who walks in love, who tries to help others, who shines the light of hope, that person is fulfilling his purpose. Now, he may be, like I said, he may be a CEO somewhere, he may be a president, he may be a king, he may be a pauper. Most of the time, we attribute to the ripple effect what we should attribute to the thing that caused the ripple in the first place. So the tsunami that hits the shores did not start at the shores. It started in the middle of the... There was a source. You understand? So maybe my act of kindness... I heard the story of a footballer who got missing. He missed his train and someone just showed him kindness, helped him buy a ticket, Patrick Evra. He doesn't know the guy till today. And that person just did one act of kindness that helped another man become great in the future. So my actions right now may not result in, like Abraham's obedience, did not result in all the descendants appearing immediately. It resulted in an Isaac, and then an Isaac led to a Jacob, and a Jacob led to an Israel, and Israel led to David, and David led to Jesus, and Jesus led to the new creation. Just one act of obedience. So that's how I see purpose. Just obey what God has told you. And there may be things that the Lord has placed in front of you, and He has said, okay, you know what, I want you to take that step and do this thing, and and you are fulfilling purpose.
You linked the two together so perfectly. Identity, finding yourself, and then fulfilling purpose. But one thing that struck me in what you said is some people are fulfilling purpose without even knowing that they're fulfilling purpose. That's something to unravel. How does that kind of a thing happen? Is it because we're not paying attention to self, or things are just happening and we're just discovering ourselves as we journey on? Is it a walk of faith? Is it just me trusting in God and just following the lead? How do you then... What is it? Is your purpose singing or worshiping or doing some of those things?
I believe a lot of the things we call purpose are means to achieving purpose.
That's the best. That's the most. That's the most simplistic way to put it.
So Pastor Jude's purpose is not to preach. It's to affect a generation. I discovered that a lot of times we call the means the end. We call that thing that we do to achieve purpose, we call it purpose. So singing is not my purpose. Singing is a means to an end. It's a tool. So yes.
Just looking at it from that perspective, so that we shouldn't be, many times we want to be very definitive, we want to be very, I have no problem, maybe because I'm a bit fluid and I like how life can, sometimes life shouldn't be very rigid like A, B, C. For instance, if one of my goals meeting people is that if we have a conversation for more than 5 minutes, I should leave value of some sort with you, right? I should leave it better than I met you. Now this I did not write down somewhere. It is what I noticed began to evolve over time. Right? So people come back to you like, oh, that conversation was helpful. I found that interaction be helpful. So now I'm being a bit more deliberate with it. But my point again is, it could be by the fact that I just listened to you. How did I leave value to you? Maybe I just listened to you. My dear, life in its true self is our ability to understand that we exist more than for ourselves. So with that mindset, daily, you are able to look beyond your pain, your needs, yourself. He said it, and it was spot on. that the sum total of what we call the big is just aggregates of small acts. So that's love. The love he mentioned is very key, is the ability to see life first beyond yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pastor Jude. And that's it for me. You must answer the question of purpose by assessing the value that you bring to others beyond yourself. Purpose is not in doing. Doing is a means to your fulfillment of purpose. Now, people in their 40s, which is my roundup for you, I just feel there has to be something spiritual about this 40 journey. What would you want to say to them?
I have a song called My Everything. I've not released it yet. In the song, I was talking with God, like, God, I have this hunger for you. Why don't you feel it? He said, see, I'm the one that even allowed you have the hunger. So I said, you are my hunger and satisfaction. You are my journey and destination. You know? So he said, if the children of Israel had understood that being with me being with them, my presence with them was better than being in the promised land, they would have arrived. They would have acted as though they had arrived.
In the course of
even in the journey.
Yeah. So the thing is, just be with God. Sometimes that 40 years will seem like 2 days. If you are with God, just trust your journey. Trust Him to lead you. Be at peace. There is nothing that can give you peace. Because if your peace comes from that which is external and that which is temporal, when it leaves your peace, will leave with it. So if you have not told yourself that truth, that there is nothing that can really satisfy you, the Instagram followers, there were times when I'll go on Instagram and I'll be depressed. Why? There are a lot of reasons pointing at you, like, you are not there yet, you have failed, you are not. And then I discovered that when you now get to a certain point, you'll see someone who has done much more than you, and you will not be satisfied with being there. Yeah. So, see, yes, I believe in, numbering your days, but don't do it. I number my days in Him, because there are some people He will tell there are yet many lands to conquer.
Even at whatever age, like Caleb.
Then Caleb said, give me this mountain. When other people were retiring, that's when he stood up. So just enjoy your journey. Like I said, you may not be the one. So David wants to build God a temple. Oh, this is going to be, and then God says, oh, you've tried, but it is your son that will build it. Now, I'll say this finally. Position, placement is an opportunity, is also a tool. So you can be the president of the nation, and doesn't mean that is your purpose. That is the platform to fulfill purpose at the level you are meant to. And when you don't fulfill purpose, you kind of create a gulf in time that I believe God has to quickly fill up. Like, this guy messed up, so let me bring in a replacement.
There's a lacuna.
Yes, there is
spiritually.
there is a gap that this guy has created because he didn't do what he was supposed to do with that position. He was supposed to be a righteous king to help people, but then he turned the whole nation. He brought hardship and all of that, and let me bring in someone to fill the gap. So this is enough for now.
In fact, it's more than enough for now. I'm sure we'll get more from you in due course.
Yes.
Jude, what are your...
I'm just soaking in all he just said.
Soaking and release.
It's so profound. Because the script if there's any script to benchmark, is with Him.
Yeah.
It's not by any standard. And I want to reflect on the story. I think one of the popular evangelists, I heard a gentleman went and organized a crusade. He had a few people come up, and then he preached his house out, and then made an altar call. And only one young child, boy, stepped up to receive Christ. And he left. Eventually became one of the greatest evangelists of our time. Yeah. In the eyes of the man, and in time, if he didn't see this young boy evolve, he had failed. But when in hindsight, he has delivered to the world millions of souls, not directly, but by means of just obeying God in the little things. So I'll just say to everyone, cut the pressure, obey God in the little things, work with him daily, and let him sum your life by reason of your daily obedience to be one to reckon with. That would be my closing remark.
And if you feel God is not talking to you, I'm not hearing God. Oh, there's stuff written in the scriptures.
Read it.
To know the ways of God. Just read it. Learn the ways of Christ. Learn the ways of love. And just, do unto others what you have them do unto you.
This is absolutely so relieving for me. I'm so happy to gain this perspective on the number 40, on managing pressure, on even letting go of the distractions and the supposed highlight reel, because it's an instant world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
As the whistle blows for halftime, the players make their way off the pitch, sweat dripping, heart pounding, mind racing with the events of the first half. Some feel the weight of missed opportunities, while others are focused on the moments where they've excelled. It's a crucial pause, a chance to regroup, reflect, and decide on how the second half will unfold. Turning 40 is pretty much like reaching that halftime. Have we taken the shots we needed to take? Have we held our grounds when the pressure was on? The first half of our life may have been filled with both victories and setbacks, but the game isn't over yet. Just like the players in the locker room, we adjust our strategy, learn from the past without dwelling on it, and approach the second half, making every remaining minute count. So remember, it's nearly halftime. The best is yet to come, and how you play from here is entirely up to you.